Hi, thank you for tuning in. My name is Ariana, and as Irani, I give human design readings and initiations. I'm a human design analyst and a living your design guide, and I've been studying and practicing human design for about 15, 16 years now. And I've had a lot of experiences, a lot of insights, a lot of different views on human design along the way, and I'm here to share my perspective on the knowledge of human design and what it can mean for us. And I want to talk about the mutation that human design tells us about. So the founder of human design, Uru Hu, he shared that there's a mutation happening right now, that we are in the middle of a transition from one way of being human into a new way of being human. And that what is happening within us, within our programming, within our biological way of existing. And that since the past 250 years, and probably for the coming 250 years, we are moving through or into a new way of what it means to be human. And that mutation means that right now there are a lot of things changing. We are noticing this in our own lives, in the world around us, that so many things are shifting at the same time. We still have a lot of the old ways of doing things, while also new ways of doing things are also coming into being, and they are clashing with each other. We have these furious debates about what is the right way to do things, and at this point it's just become this schism, this divide between everyone having their own perspective. And that's the thing about it, is it seems like a divide between one side and another, but really it's many different fragments, because everybody has their own individual way of seeing and feeling into how things should be. And at some ways we can align with others, but even among those allied groups, we still have fierce disagreements about very specific things. And that is all a manifestation of this mutation, because it is about something new. It's about something individual. It's about something different. And that is finding a different shape, a different form in each and every one of us. So each of us are a representation of something new. And each of us, kind of our biology is kind of fighting for our way of being human. We want the way that we feel is right, but the way of being human that makes sense to us, we want that to kind of take over. That's our old competitive mindset, that it's just like, oh, it has to be my way. And that's how we are kind of all opposed to each other, how we're all not being able to connect, because we don't disagree. We are fighting for our individual way of doing it, which is always different from other people. And that all has to do with the big change that we're moving through. And Uru talked about how this change, this mutation is happening in different stages. So I will, in the coming few videos that I'm going to be talking about this mutation, I'm going to be talking about these different stages. And the first stage is about fixating the emotional wave. And what that means is that right now, the solar plexus center in our human design, the emotional center, it is an energy center. It is a motor. So what that means is that emotions move us. When we feel something, we are energized by it. It moves us to express those emotions or to oppress those emotions. It moves through us. We feel it deeply, and there's something that really happens with us. We kind of get swept away by it. We cannot see anything other than that emotion that we are going through. A emotion is a movement. So we are moved in one specific way, in one specific perspective, because that's what emotions are for, to show us a specific perspective, to make us aware of one way of experiencing something, one view, one experience, one perspective on right now. And what happens right now is that because that emotional center is a motor, it's energizing, that one emotional state of being takes over our whole being. So when we feel something, it's very hard to relativize it. It's very hard to consider that there are also other perspectives. We just experience that one emotion and it takes over our entire reality. And we are moved by it. We act upon it. We make decisions, impulsive decisions, based on just that one perspective that is not the whole truth. It's not our entire experience. And what that mutation is going to bring is it's going to lessen and eventually completely neutralize that emotional experience, in the sense that the emotion won't sweep us away. It will just be an experience of a perspective without us getting dragged along in it, without us being completely consumed by it, which means that we can be much more present in the now. We can be more present within that emotion. We can kind of watch it happen. And that is the new and evolved emotional awareness, where we can experience the emotion while also being present with it. We don't get lost in the emotion. We can be like, oh yeah, I am feeling this right now, and that is what this means for me. I can learn from this experience as it happens, because I can be aware of it while it is happening to me. What we mostly have right now is that we are experiencing emotion, then we have to wait and we have to take time to process it and to also move through other perspectives. And that won't be as necessary anymore for human beings that are going to be born after this mutation is complete. They're going to be much more settled, much more neutral, less dramatic, less over the top. They don't have to explode or implode because of an emotion. They can just be there with it. And we can already see that change taking hold in the way that we experience the world right now. There are people who are more emotionally intelligent, people who are less emotionally intelligent, people who are constantly being dragged along by their emotions, and people who are able to learn from their emotional experiences, people who are able to experience themselves in multiple layers at the same time. And these are part of those fragments that we're experiencing, where people who are dragged along in their emotions, who are not able to relativize along the way, who just think that what they are feeling is the complete truth and that they have to act upon it right now. Those people are living in a certain reality because their reality is ruled by those emotions and the consequences that they are experiencing from the decisions that they impulsively make while experiencing those emotions. And then there are people who are more capable of being more aware of their emotions, of being more present in them, who are basically willing to learn the lessons from their emotions, who are willing to wait and to take time to get to know their emotional system, to learn how it works, what different layers are present within them. And those people are discovering new layers of awareness within themselves, more dimensions of awareness within the world. Those people are kind of discovering whole new realities, not just one reality, but different ways of experiencing reality while it is happening. And we have difficulty communicating with each other, these different groups. And even the different within the groups, our emotional reality, our emotional experience is very unique, and it doesn't let itself be translated easily. It requires very deep, very present, very aware, very empathic emotional communication in order to be able to make itself clear, in order to be able to make itself heard and understood. So we have so many different emotional realities that are being experienced right now, and very little relating that is going on. And that is actually, I feel, the way it is supposed to be right now, because we are going through a change. Things aren't going to be the same. We don't have to do things the way we think we are supposed to be able to do them. We can just let this mutation happen, and that brings chaos and confusion, because it is very confusing to live in a different reality from most other people. It is very painful to not be able to relate to the experience of not just most people, but also the people that are dear to you, the people that are close to you. When we don't experience things the same way and we are not able to communicate about it, we experience this separation and this isolation. And that's what many, many people are going through right now. And that's a part of it. That's a part of the mutation that we are going through. We are being called back into our individual experience. We are having to fall back on our individual power, because as human beings, we are made to relate. We are made to commune. We are made to do things together. But while we are going through this mutation, the challenge for each and every one of us is to experience the mutation for ourselves and to experience what it means for us in this teeny tiny reality that we are stuck inside of for the time that we are here alive. So the isolation is kind of a symptom of what we are going through, and it is serving a purpose. It is allowing each and every one of us to choose for ourselves from our own awareness, however confused we are, however chaotic everything is. We are in every moment making a decision about who am I and what am I going to do with all of this. And that decision, those choices out of free will that we are making every moment, one to the next, those define the mutation that is happening. Those decide how this is going to play out. We are active agents in this evolution that is taking place. We decide what this is going to mean for humanity, because we are humanity. We are, each and every one of us, a human part of this whole. And so we are having to fall back on ourselves, making our own decisions. What am I going to do with these feelings of separation, with this experience of chaos, with this confusion, with this isolation? What am I going to do with that? What is that going to mean for me? How am I going to live my life with these experiences? That is what decides how this is going to play out. And for me, that means that the most important thing for each of us right now is not to do things right or wrong. It's not to do things in a specific way according to rules or guidelines or whatever anything outside of us is saying. I feel like the most important thing is to take ownership and to take responsibility for whatever it is that we are experiencing, to be fully present with all that we are experiencing and to say, this is mine. Every joy, every pain that I feel is part of my unique human experience, and I am here for it. I am here to be alive within this unique time, to be a part of this unique transition that is taking place, and I am going to give it my all. I am going to be an active part of it. I am choosing to use my free will to give my contribution to this whole. And I'm going to be here and make my impact, take my part in it, whatever that looks like, whatever that feels like, because that is going to be different for each and every one of us. And I feel that that's where the beauty of this experience is that no matter how difficult this time is, there is so much beauty in exactly coming back to why am I here? What am I doing here? And taking a hold of that agency that we have to live this life according to our own terms, to be here in our own experience, and to truly ground and root within this lifetime. So if you're here within this moment experiencing this as well, it is a privilege to be here with you. And I would love to hear what this is like for you, what you have experienced in this realm. Please send me a message or leave me a comment. And I hope to see you in the next one.